Hi, we're watching another Modern Wednesday. This is Isaac Chag with Blake, and we're watching James Wolfe on KCI versus Brandon Richard on Crixus Death Shadow.
This video is represented prior to the banning. We had the announcement for the ban on the Monday. This is the Wednesday pre the following up for the banning taking place on the Friday.
Wolfie
so James Wolfe
Wolfie just begged me to put KCI on just once. He wanted it more than once. I gave him one round. Last hurrah.
Wolfe is living his final dream before his dreams have come to an end. He quickly...
No, that's not true. He also came along on the following night at a different venue. He did everything he could to play KCI that week.
Oh, brilliant.
Please don't tell me you finished KCI just before the announcement.
Oh, no, he's been playing it for years.
Okay.
Not years, but since it became good, he's a bit of a spike.
I think this matchup is going to be interesting between Crixus Death Shadow is heavily interacting between counter spells, hand disruption, and a very quick clock at times. Quite efficient at doing that. And then KCI can still have its turn 3 just make you sit there while they solitaire themselves and win.
Yeah, it's classic like tempo versus combo.
That's true. Hopefully we get to see some back and forth here. I'm certainly hoping that we don't have to fast forward between the combo loops of KCI, but I am aware that between Richard is a well-known player for the Brisbane area. As a pro
if there are massive combo loops, I am hoping that whoever records or edits this footage puts the Benny Hill music in.
Hell yeah. Sure, why not?
I am very confident in both these players, though. There's not a lot more to the matchup besides who can do their thing and who can interact or who goes off without interaction at this point, I don't think, though.
Yeah, I think Stub and Nile is going to be a great card in this matchup.
Do you reckon a soft stub or do you want a hard stub?
As long as your stub gets in there, it's all that matters.
That's all that
That's
matters.
what I tell the ladies. Looks like Brandon has a few lands, a bauble, a Thoughtseize, push, and possibly an angler.
I think that's that's an angler. I think that's a little too land heavy. You do have a threat.
He's kept. I think he's kept on the
both keep 7.
The strength of the Thoughtseize and the bauble to cantrip.
I do like that the bauble is a pseudo scry where you get to check yourself for bauble before you want to fetch.
Grove into a terrarium.
We might see this play here if he wants to.
And that's a street wraith as well. So that's
bauble himself to see if he wants to fetch away what he wants or if he wants that card.
He does have the street wraith.
He can street wraith through it, then fetch. True. And he decides to fetch it away. Terrarion Grove on the side of KCI. Just a normal average turn. Nothing to worry about.
Well, he hasn't had an explosive start there. There's no moxes or engineered explosives or anything to set up the pieces. So he's not looking to use Storm. He's looking to put pieces down and then...
Cycle Street Wraith into another land. These lands are nice, but you prefer a bit more interaction or clocks.
Probably doesn't want more than 3 lands.
Does draw a Street Wraith, I believe. Off of the bauble trigger. Between 3 lands represent 3 damage between a fetch land and a shock, which is as a multiple to try and get your Death Shadow as quick as possible. It could Wellspring.
It's like the street.
I think that's really relevant. It goes for the soft stub. Tries to put him off just any type of card draw or any interaction at this point. Draws another fish.
That soft stub, if you get it just the right way, can be hard enough though.
Oh boy. Death Shadow here not giving a good representation of being interactive. I'm sort of just going to go play my fetch, grab a land, exile my 5 cards in the graveyard, tap 2 lands, and play my Gurmag Angler and try for a 4-turn clock.
They could probably play it a little bit slower, just to represent counter magic as well.
I think at this point, if there's a danger that Wolf can just win next turn. Yeah, he goes for the Gurmag.
Okay.
I think he knows at this point he's got 4 lands in hand to push in a second Gurmag. The second Go Mag isn't going to do anything at this point.
Just unfortunate with the amount of lands he's picked up.
That's true.
He's probably running definitely less than 20 lands. I would guess.
Sigh. Mox Opal. He did have the Mox, so good to see that, but getting the extra trigger with Sigh is relevant.
And that's going to be great to shut down his Go Mag as well.
Oh, and Ancient Stirrings. I mean, Demonic Tutor, sorry. And look at that. What did we say, gentlemen? Goes for exactly the card he needs. Oh, man.
I was about to say, it's not quite as good as Demonic Tutor,
It
but
go-
I was wrong. I was 100% wrong.
Got exactly the card he needed. Oh, he picked up a Snapcaster Mage. Oh, this is going to be brutal. I hope on the side of... Between Psy and KCI, it sort of generates the amount of artifacts that you don't have to always go for the full loops.
I think
and
his
if you
line at the moment here is just play a fetch, and then push the side.
That's true. The Psy doesn't get to stick around. That is good. That's a good way because KCI plus Psy generally means each artifact equals 2 artifacts. If you keep up blue mana or generate blue mana, you get to
It
draw
draws
additional
cards, it makes blockers, it does everything he wants to do, but not just making the loop to win the game.
Getting rid of this Psy though is probably pretty nice. Just chump block with a Thopter, make his turn 5 turn clock instead of 4.
And now next turn, you'll have, if it's relevant,
I think
the
he ambush vipers.
Snapcaster, you could leave that up, so that way you have Snapcaster push as well.
Snapcaster push might be relevant. I think 7 does make a turn quicker.
Sorry, 7 what?
7 power between Go Mag Angler and Snapcaster Mage is a 2-1.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it makes it a turn quicker for trying to get through to him. 4 mana gains 1.
And that's a big tell there, showing that he doesn't have the Stubborn Denial or Counter Magic in general.
That's true.
Because if he did have Counter Magic, that would be exactly what he would be countering.
Yeah, this would be the point on time
Brandon
where
definitely
it
knows
had
the
to
format
happen.
well enough to know that that's what he's doing. Oh, and that is a
Picks up a
strong
second
draw
KCI.
there.
At this point in time, though, it does look kind of one-sided.
I think this is just a straight combo. He's going to win at this point.
Welcome to KCI. Wizards, you did something about this. This is what we're missing now. This is what we don't see.
I mean, he might brick off, but it looks like he's got enough pieces in play where he's going to be able to dig, find his creatures, and move forward from there.
There is a small window where he doesn't get there, although
If
he's
Brandon
not...
had enough mana up to Snapcaster push, he might be able to do it in response, but he doesn't have mana to do anything.
I think he's
And
bricked.
now
I think he has stopped.
he's still got the Echo Wellspring to sack.
Yeah, that's true. The Wellspring does represent an additional card, and so does Spellbomb. But since he doesn't have a way to filter mana, Spellbomb is turned off, although I guess you're not going to shock
Alright,
it
it
anyway.
looks like he has bricked for
He
the turn.
has stopped. Oh boy. Lords be praised. Grover the Burn Willows, I do want to represent that it does have text in this matchup. You do want to pretty much give them 1 life every turn as possible. Makes them work for their Death Shadows to try and be as large as possible.
I think what Brandon's probably going to do is play Death Shadow and then leave up Snap Push looking at his hand.
Did he draw a Death Shadow?
Yeah.
Oh man, that could be relevant.
So
I
gonna
think you play Fetch, yeah.
play Fetch, play Death Shadow with your black-red land, leave up Snap Push with the Fetch open.
Relevant.
Would be my play. After attacking.
Double KCI is probably one of the worst scenarios for KCI to be in. You don't want to see 2 of the engine, you just want to see 1 engine and all
he's
pay
just
off.
fetching to thin and grows Death Shadow.
I think there is relevance to going for potentially just a second Gurmag here.
Does he have the second go
He
mag?
does have a second Gurmag. Death Shadow. Yeah, he still has the second Gurmag plus Snapcaster there.
Yeah,
He
I
does-
think he wants to keep the Snap Push in play just so he can
Yeah,
turn off the value engine.
he doesn't have Revolt here, so it doesn't hit Psy though.
No, but he wants to get rid of the mirror. the Mia or the Scrounger, or the Scrounger is a 3-drop, so he would need Revolt for that.
Yeah, Scrap Trawler and Side both don't get hit here. Demonic Tutor gets a suddenly turned into a copy of Find a card that is already in play.
It's not Demonic Tutor, but it is strictly better Ponder.
Representation of green gets cantrips and red gets cantrips, while blue don't get certain cards in Modern.
Yeah, Ponder's way too good. But Ancient Stirring is completely fine.
What about Faithless Looting, though?
Faithless Looting should be banned.
Faithless Looting giving an argument of
Nope, there's no argument. It should be banned. If Ponder is banned and Preordain is banned, it should be banned.
For the decks that Faithless Looting is represented in, and I start saying this and I realise how many decks there are that are offensive because of it, between Dredge as a good way of being able to dredge first, then discard cards.
I'm pretty sure it's the most played card in Modern.
Faithless Looting?
Yes.
Maybe.
That's Lightning Bolts at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's still
I
Lightning
think
Bolt.
it's always been Lightning Bolt, right?
Path was number one for a little while.
I would have to have it might be Bolt, but it's... Yeah, have a look on MTG Top 8 or MTG Goldfish and let me know. And I think Goldfish is easy to suss it out.
Certainly a query. MTG Top 8 does give representation of what's being played or what's 5 or doing well in tournaments. He's using a forest to represent green mana. Yep, so I believe Shard has just demonstrated that he's not willing to sit down. Look at it.
Okay, so
Lightning Bolt is the most played card.
Bolt, then Looting.
It's Bolt, then Bloodstained Mire, then Looting.
Bloodstained Mire, the most
You
popular.
shut up.
Faceless Looting is following...
Okay, fine. Ban Bloodstained Mire too.
Whoa! That's...
Not the other fetches, just Bloodstained Mire.
That's right, I did find I was playing my Legacy Burn deck 5 copies of Wood Hills when I took it in top trade.
I actually play my Legacy Burn deck 2 of each, just in case I get surgical.
That's why I play 1 of each.
Yeah.
4 fetches. 4 red fetches.
If you can play around it, why not?
Well, I play 8.
I was
Because
getting
Searing
red
Blaze
decks.
is a thing.
See, I took out Searing Blaze for playing.
So I believe the result of that match was at this point that KCI has demonstrated a loop, or Brendan Richard wants to value his time more than sitting in front of watching him.
They both
decide.
understand how the deck works.
Yeah.
Wolfie's played this deck enough times that he knows exactly how the loop goes. And Brandon knows this. He knows he's not going to step up, so he's just
Both of
saving
them have
both
played
some
with
time.
each other a number of times.
And now they're playing Magic.
Yes.
Nitpicky OCD thing. When you tap, do you tap clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Clockwise.
Clockwise.
Pretty sure it's always
the symbol
clockwise.
on the card does indicate clockwise.
Immediately as you say this, Brandon does tap anti-clockwise.
He's dead to me.
He's dead.
I don't mind. I don't like it if he's going to tap some of his lands the other way. You're welcome to tap your lands in one direct, like whatever direction you choose.
All of them the
but
same
they have
direction.
to all tap that way.
All in the same direction.
I am guilty of tapping the alternative directions and realizing what I've done and fixing them up.
Yeah,
Realise what monster
instant
you've
DQ.
made.
That's bad sportsmanship.
That's a pretty...
That's why I judge because I'm a terrible player.
This is a pretty good feeling here. Thoughtseize into see you have 2 copies of a card into surgical.
That's
that
why
card.
even though I'm a judge, they won't let me judge events because I'm a good player.
If you can't play judge,
I have a better EV than most players I know. I always walk away from an event with something.
if you can't play judge, and if you can't judge, TO.
That's a
Compensation
quick
there.
value surgical, getting the Ancient Stirring. He's not worrying.
No, 2 Ancient Stirrings here.
Savage.
Yes, the Thoughtseize, 2 Ancient Stirrings out of the hand, surgical it out.
Yeah, I mean it's a value. Like it's not a combo piece, but it's a value piece to get.
Yeah, that's important.
And
though.
I
That's
think it's a good
a consistency
play at this
role.
point.
Well, he's gone for it all. He has 2 cards in hand. What's the bet? One of them's KCO.
Yeah, And the other one is just Scrap Trawler, and then that's the game. He draws a land, plays those cards, and Benny Hill music plays again.
No, it doesn't.
Well, you're right.
Oh, he
KPI.
does have the KCI. Oh man, they always have it. But
Just needs mana now.
he did have the Inquisition. This is a representation of where a lot of interaction tends to pull apart KCI.
Correct.
Cycling through a bunch of his eggs. Not a good sign. Digging, digging, digging. Although that's a good card.
This is why I like Correction Revoker.
Revoker.
Yeah, name KCI.
You've been playing D&D too much.
No, I played Coco and Modern.
Ah, there you go. You've been... Oh, D&D is just a representation of too many Revokers around. That being said, I do play Revoker in Harden's Case.
That's alright, I just played Cave-In.
Wow.
I love that card.
It's a pity this Inquisition didn't get to snag the side, but I guess when you get 3 extra draws between draw step...
Well, his
2
deck's
eggs.
so removal based. Even post sideboard, he's still going to have a lot of incidental removal.
He did take
Like,
out the Fatal Pushes, but he
he's
probably
gonna
still has
have-
Dismember.
He's going to have Colligan's commands and Liliana's and other creatures and other ways to use it. Unless he's going off with his artifacts, the Sai is more or less just going to be making blockers to shut down Brandon's win condition.
He does have that Summon and Arlo.
And he has a team of Battle Rage as
And
well, which
Snapcaster.
the Sai is not going to be good against.
Snapcaster Thoughtseize. Ooh.
Oh.
2 of a kind. What do you take? It's gotta
Take
be...
the Mia.
It's gotta be Mir. Oh, my hand's on the face just... Well, what do I do? I think there's still lines to do if you know you have some way of interacting with the KCI. The second KCI, you could take the
I have
first.
yet to see from Brandon's hand, I'm sure it's in his deck, Colligan's command.
Colling's Command is one of those awkward cards where Shadow tends to interact and play on 2 and 3 lanes, and K Commander's huge mana is also... It's a very good card. Don't get me wrong. Discarding cards,
It's only
destroying
played
artifact.
in every format that you can play it in,
That's true.
to be fair. Colligan's command.
Well,
Yeah,
Colligan's
but
Command...
you hate it because it's good, you don't hate it because
I'm
it's
coming
bad,
from
right?
a point of view where I played Affinity in any type of short form for the last 2.5 years, and I've been many 2-for-1 by Colligan's Command, and I still have to respect them.
Not because you don't hate it like, oh, I hate like Brightling or something like that. Like, I don't think it's a particularly good card.
Exactly. You're
I
right.
hate KCI.
It blows me up.
You hate Colligan's command because it's a very good card.
Yes.
It
Colligan's Command.
never has irrelevant text.
Between Colligan's Command and Collective Brutality, I think are good representations of power creep on modal cards, or cards that got to represent multiple different card effects that you want, all on one card.
I think power creep on creatures is the more relevant thing.
Power creep on creatures is huge. But even then, Colligan's Command is one of the biggest spells that have made an impact ever since it was printed.
If he makes 7, then he's dead.
Not finding a threat here at all to sort of power through how much you've hurt your own life total.
He can go Snapcaster, Stubborn Denial. His hand is Snapcaster, Stubborn Denial, and I can't remember the card. Team of Battle
Team
Rage.
of Battle Rage, Stubborn Denial, Snapcaster with a Inquisition and a Stubborn Denial in the graveyard, and a Surgical Extraction as well. KCI just seems to be, after being shredded in the first 3 turns, just seems to be pulling further and further out of this.
And this is another problem with why the deck had to be nerfed. The main problem is the value of the fact that you interact at mana speed, which is just inherently broken because you can't interact with it. And the other fact that it's just painful to watch because it's just a loop and someone playing solitaire. Same reason why Eggs was nerfed, not because the deck was a particularly oppressive deck. I mean, it made up some top 8s, but the general unfair way in which it interacts, going at mana speed, and then the way that it just solitaires and slowly wins by pinging you for 2 while drawing their entire deck. And that's why I think half the reason why KCI... It is more streamlined than Second Sunrise, definitely, but it's essentially the same deck.
As much as we can represent, Wizards had a point where they need to balance the format and balance the game with enjoyable to play, enjoyable to watch, fun and interactive and powerful, and a power level that is represented on what format they're in. I think, yeah, it does sort of play on a factor of the deck was too consistent. You had to sort of go out of your way. You could very much interact with KCI and definitely had ways of being able to beat it.
Looks like Brandon has a Gurmag Angler in his hand here.
Getting a threat here is nice, but these Thopters are
going to
very
kill him
scary.
If he doesn't have an answer eventually. Although Team of Battle Rage could
No, not a
stage.
20.
Not a 20.
He needs a Shadow.
What was the name of the player who's won several GPs with KCI?
Matt Nass?
Matt Nass. Matt Nass came out and said the deck needs to be banned.
Yeah,
so I think that's a fair indication that the deck does have an inherent problem with it.
When the forerunner of the deck decides to give Wizards a reason to be like, oh yeah, if he says it's okay, then sure, we'll do it.
That is what Wizards sounds like.
On the note of Wizards, talking about decks being enjoyable to watch and then taking away coverage.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't even want to go there. Oh, we don't have decks that are enjoyable to watch, but we've got to take away this deck because everyone don't get coverage now. Still representing Stubborn Denial here.
It is good
It's
that it looks
hard
like
stop.
that Channel Fireball is going to take up that slack and start doing some of the coverage themselves.
It's true.
Which is good.
Does he have double KCI
I mean,
play?
it was either that or pay better prizes. And, they had to choose one. So
Attacking for 2 with these Thopters. I think attacking for 2 with these Thopters and then generating them into drawing cards in your second main phase and trying to go for a few extra cards.
there's all the mana.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. What the heck is he? Oh yeah, he's drawing.
Yeah, he's sacking.
Yeah.
And
Scrap draw.
looks like he
He has a Mind Stone in the bin. He has some ones. Looks like we might be waiting a little bit.
if he has a rock at this stage in hand or an ability, I think he
The
needs
Scrap
to.
Trawler here does represent a window, like a potential loop that's going to start evaluating, and then the Psy will get out of hand. But he does, like we said, Brendan does have a stub that is online.
Here we are, because he's got 2 KCIs in play. He can sack the KCI, get back. He now has the loop in play. This
that's
is
true.
the win. I believe Brandon has a stubborn denial.
Yep.
Which can counter one of his plays. However, getting rid of the mirror means he gets back 2 eggs, which turns on the loop.
Well, you get to go for the KCI, which gets to go back down at the Scrap Trawler.
Yeah, and it's important to note that stubborn denial only counters non-creature spells as well. So his key combo pieces.
You ain't touching my
which is
Mirror Retriever.
The Mirror Retriever and the Scrap Trawler are going to be able to be played without interaction at this point in time. He's going to stubborn denial that, which is going to empty him out of mana, but he still has those Thopters to generate mana.
Again, the incremental value of Psy just represented here is a huge
And
impact.
He's tapped out, cards on the table. It's going to be the game at this point in time. It looks like
Goes for 2 mana.
that's
3, yeah, there we go.
that's the game.
Since I believe Brandon did have a Snapcaster here, do you think it was right to try and go on for the threat rather than try and go Snap Surgical? I don't believe he was really in a position where he was scared that he was going to lose.
Also, it's important to remember again, this deck runs at mana speed, so you can go Snap Surgical, and then in response they just sack more things.
That's true, but making them go through loops tends to try... The most important, you've got to try and make them stumble and stumble in a way that they can't keep up.
Yeah.
Putting him through as many loopholes as possible. Yeah, here he goes. He's representing the surgical that he was talking about from the sideboard. The side was just going to take over the game though, just get a couple of Thopters, swing with them over through the air. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking with us with a great modern matchup and seeing how exactly KCI tends to pull out and its last glorious moments before the banning. Thanks again for listening to us.
Yep, I'm Isaac, this is Blake, thanks for listening, and this is us signing off.